overriding feeling after that game and result?
Well, I was pleased and proud of the players' performance. To come out of the Bournemouth game, which is a flat one, and come in here and at home with the fans here and the noise of the fans and all that. But then you got to deliver, and I thought we did for the most part. First half more with the ball and trying to open them up. And second half, because I know you're going to ask me about the obvious, and then second half, more on a containing basis, which I'm okay with that because there's a bit of nervousness. Can you get that first win? So it's hard to keep playing free and open when they're just edgy a bit, which is, I imagine, there would be because you're searching for that big win. Excuse me. But we look defensively really strong, I thought. I don't think they opened us up much, not big chances. And then, unfortunately, the lad hits one great strike. Is he impeding the keeper's view and all that? But I don't know. I mean, that's for the powers that be. But now you can ask me the inevitable.
Well, I'm guessing you want to know, or you want to be asked about United's first.
I'm surprised if that wasn't one of your first questions. You can ask what you want, but I'll be very surprised if that wasn't on the end of your lips.
Well, to warm you up, but yeah.
Well, the thing is that 2 weeks on the trot, which is bizarre in itself. Similar but different, obviously. The last one was a clear mistake, which I got booked for. I still agree with that. How on earth I get booked for an actual mistake, proven, is bizarre. And then today, I just can't understand it. You're an assistant referee, you're 70-odd yards away. You've got a goal and a net in the way, but apparently you can see. I've got a better view and I'm not in the right position. So that's got to be wrong, in the current climate. The thing that annoys me the most, I'm a big fan of VAR, that's like someone's got to be able to overrule these decisions just really quickly. That'll be 5 seconds. You just go, that's in play. And it's deemed out of play and they whack it in, they score a goal. 2 weeks on the trot. Now, of course, you can say, well, you've got to deal with the corner, but the point is it shouldn't even be that. So that's really difficult. And then to give my reasoning behind it, which I think is more important, because obviously people say, oh, yeah, but it's only just over the line. No, sorry, just on the line. Well, it's on the line. So imagine a goal scored, with the watch when it beeps or vibrates for the ref. Well, what do? You've seen it. You've all seen it. The psychologists have it. It's like 1 millimetre. And they say, well, hasn't got over the line. So how can you see that from 78 yards away? For me, that's 5 seconds of VAR. And they got, the refs talking to people and all that, waste time, walking over the screen, we all know that waste time, it's like pointless. And they go about speeding up the game. But big decisions like that would, for VAR, for someone to override that decision, be 5 seconds, they'd look and go, bang, that's it, done. Wrong decision. That's it. So that's really, really frustrating 2 weeks on the trot. I know it's an unusual stat to happen. Of course, I'm aware of that. Chances are very slim, but it has happened. With all the technology and all that's at stake, particularly for us in Nottingham Forest Football Club after the start the club's had, that's a big moment, and all of a sudden that goes against you. And that's very, very frustrating when it could be really easily cleared up for me.
Simon?
Hey.
I appreciate what you're saying, but do you really think it would be 5 seconds? I mean,
okay. That's fair, it'd be 6. No, but if you know.
Well, you know what it's like.
Right, they have all these rules and IFAB and which I understand, right? There has to be rules. But surely there's a bit of common sense when someone just goes, hang on a minute, that's an assistant seeing that from 78 yards away. But someone's got a monitor there who can just go, bang, that's it, bang, decision done. They shouldn't have to look at that 300 times because I've seen it from one view. I've seen it from one view and it is pretty conclusive. And here's one for you. We've all seen this. What about when players take a corner in the quadrant? We all just sit there. Sure, I can see it from 75 yards away that it's not in. Do you know what I mean? But he apparently can see it through a goal net, through the goal line, through the players, through the posts. It's impossible. And we all see it on the quadrant where the ball is hanging over the quadrant by 1 millimetre and they say, well, no, it's in the quadrant. Do you get my point?
Well, I do get your point, but I was thinking, in my experience, 5 seconds.
The ball's in play, as simple as that. Well, no, but that's another conversation. I'm exaggerating maybe, but for me, that's all right, it's 10 seconds. The point is, it ain't 3 minutes. You don't need 3 minutes of looking at that. It's a very simple moment. And last week was an incredibly simple moment, factually a wrong decision. They could take that can't last week, must take 5 seconds. You just go wrong, tell the ref wrong, that's it, end of. Surely. Because there's a lot of stake in these games. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of stake. So just get it right. We all want it right. Every fan wants it right. But anyway, look, it's gone against us again. We just have to get on with it. Simple as that. And you know the worst thing as well? I've been back in the game for 3 games. I'm talking about 2 weeks on the trot talking about referees and decisions. That is really frustrating. I don't want to be talking about this, do I? I want to be talking about my team. My team have done great in 2 of them performances. Porto, this performance, I think, of really solid performances, really good. A lot of individuals played great. And that's what I want to be talking about, but unfortunately I can't because it's cost us.
You might like this question then, Sean. United obviously got very experienced midfield, but Elliot Anderson I thought was outstanding today. What have you made him situated?
Yeah, so after the Porto game, he's got to learn the nuts and bolts positionally, but he's a very good player. He deals with the ball well. He's got a really good attitude. I like him. He's got that nice nature about him. He moans a lot, but I've already slaughtered him about that. We'll get that out of him. But he moans in a good way. He's a really good player. And like I say, learning as he goes about the Premier League, positional, like I say, the nuts and bolts of it. But he's a very good player. I thought Callum did a great job, especially second half, defensively, working inside to outside and still causing trouble. Morgan's worked really hard again and he nicks himself a goal. Dan's learning. He a few mistakes then, but I thought Dan was working really hard, and the Eagles learning about the Premier League. We've got injuries and all the rest of it. So some really good signs. I thought defensively we looked really solid. I know it sounds mad when you see 2. We've gone through one of them, but I thought generally we were solid. Lots of good performances. Sav's only still young. He's played 20 games, I think, before he's come here. He's a young man earning his spurs. These things have all got to be developed quickly. A lot of the players they bought are younger players. They might pay big fees, but they haven't got a massive depth of experience in football and the Premier League, especially. So we're having to fast track everything. But there's some really good signs. 2 out of 3 performances are really, really strong performances, I think, and certainly performances I think can bring more wins.
Just one thing I was actually after. You talked about the defence, how they played well, but there is one stat that predates you that they've now gone 18 games without a clean sheet, which is the worst record in the top.
Is that including the Porto game or? Oh, in the league, sorry, yeah. No, what it is, I said this week, I said, look, when I spoke to the owner, I said, look, we haven't got magic wand, we haven't got magic dust, this is a process, which he understands, and I can't change everything. There's other stats, the team, I said in the media, just to bring a bit of reality to the turnaround, is it 16 games, 13 goals before we came in, or before the league, before we came in, It's not like it's just you flick switching it all, win 10 on the trot. I hope we do, but it's not normally like that. There's a lot to be done here. There's a lot of the end of last season wasn't going that way, you know what I mean? It was slowly drifting a little bit. Still a great season, just to be clear. Fantastic season, actually, for this football club, but it was drifting a little bit. Pre-season, hardly scored goals in pre-season. And they go and see hardly score goals. We've got to correct all of that and stop it in that end and put it in that end as Sir Alex Ferguson once reminded me, that's the job.
To shed, based on what you're saying about VAR, you're a fan of VAR, and the stakes are so high. In America, obviously, coaches can challenge a decision if they believe it's fundamentally wrong, and if they win it, obviously, do you think that?
I don't want to go down that road. I just think it's a really simple process that's made bitty. The management, I don't mind telling you, in the managers' meeting before, when I was at Everton, I said clearly, why are you getting referees to talk to the crowd? Why? I don't understand. Referees have got enough on their plate. It's not natural for everyone to want to talk in front of 70,000, maybe 40,000. It's not a natural thing. So why put them under that pressure when they've already got... I'm a big fan of referees, And they know it, I think. I'm a big fan. I always say the 3 hardest jobs in a stadium at any level is the 2 managers and the referee. They're the 3 hardest jobs for me in football currently. So I'm a big fan of referees, but why give them all this extra weight? I don't understand fan involvement. Why? I don't know. I'm a fan of football. I don't want to hear the referee. The best referees are when you don't hear them and they have a great game and you actually after the game go, do you know this referee? You go, no, not really. They're the best referees. They're the best referee in performances when you don't notice them. So why put the onus on them? No, I'm not challenging anything. I'm just telling you my opinion. I'm not challenging anything. I'm not saying I'm right about anything. It's only an opinion. It doesn't mean it's the right opinion. But I think I'm not far wrong. Because I think there's a lot of fans out there who go, well, yeah, actually, why? Why do we have to listen to the referee? Why does he keep walking over to the monitor? Keep talking about speeding up. Just take that away, but get that right today. That's more important if I'm a fan. Get the decision right. Don't worry about whether you're talking to us, explain. I don't need a referee doing. I can't work it out. I really can't. I was worried. I'd be like, really? I don't want to talk to the fans on a loudspeaker. I have 70,000 people. They'd be like, oh, are they suddenly public speaking? They're doing lessons now in public speaking. Think about it. It's just not everyone is like that. Not everyone likes that, do they? We all know it in life. I can see you nodding. You're right, because not everyone's like that. Let the referee just referee. Why keep giving them more? anyways.
Sean, these players got quite a lot of stick in the first part of the season. Two of them just came and went, obviously. And in fact, a couple of them admitted, but maybe some of that was justified. What sort of response you see? Are you happy?
We've seen a very good response. I think they know we've already started our education on the physical side for my way of working, to be clear again. The stats, the facts, looking at some of their performances, but also some of the really good stuff. I think there's some talent here. I think the basis to work from is good. We'll still get injuries when them players come back as well. It's a big squad, but it's got some knowledge and some talent and some newness with the younger players. But whatever the mix is, you've got to win games, and that's the biggest challenge. We've got to change that, and we've already spoken to the stats from the past: clean sheets, goals scored. So there's a big job. It's not just like, oh well, there you go and crack on. It's not like that. It's a big job. But the signs are very, very clear, I think, with 2 out of 3 performances, certainly today and certainly against Porto. There's a group who are willing to work, to play as well, because we want to find that balance, and also to fight for the club, for the badge. I think there's been good signs of that.
And that goal line clearance at the end was quite spectacular.
Yeah, I mean, we were saying, actually, funny, the thing I am pleased about, we did ask questions, we did put the ball in the box more. We didn't do that against Bournemouth hardly at all, and we did today. And we scored 2 good goals for different reasons. A great header from Morgan, but also the bits from Sav, to be alive in the box. And we were explaining to them, ugly goals are still good goals. No one looks at the end of the season, they just look how many goals you scored. It doesn't have to be a classic every week. You don't have to smash it in the top corner every week. What about just scoring goals? I think we've got to get that mentality, and I think it's improving. I think it's growing. And as you said, the defensive side as well, to put yourself on the line.
Last one, please.
Was unlucky to go down 1-0 at half time. I just want to know, what did you say to the players to get that quick?
So go and score 2. That'd be brilliant if you could. And they did. That's how easy management is. No joking about it. I just remind them and said, look, you got the freedom to go before. So don't forget the goal, forget the decision. Don't worry about decisions. I call it no disappointments. Disappointments are for me after the game and for them after the game, not while it's active. So don't be disappointed. We go fresh half, fresh start, we go again. So I'm very pleased that they did. Right on the front foot, taking the game on straight away. Very pleased with that. And as I said, I wasn't displeased with the rest of the performance. It's just that human nature says, as the game's coming to a close, can we just see it through? The players are just a little bit good shape, just not quite fine, apart from countering, which we did well. And of course, they did that fantastically last season. There were some really good counters where we might have got something more, might have got the 3rd goal. But there's a lot of good signs over 2 out of 3 games. We've got to maintain and build on it, but there's some really strong signs of performances growing and improving, and that's key over the rest of the season.
Thank you.
I don't know yet. We're in tomorrow, so I'll get more of an assessment after tomorrow. Yeah, I haven't literally, I've spoken to the team, not the injured players or the medics, so I don't want to put words in their mouth without my knowing.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks. Cheers.